everybody. Thanks again for joining us. Welcome to another edition of the Wealth Guardians radio program, where we tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. I'm Doug Ray. I'm your host today, and appreciate you spending some of your weekend with us. Again, we've got Bryce Payne and JB in the studio with us today. So, hey, guys, how you doing?
Good morning.
Staying warm.
Trying to anyway, right?
That's right.
What a mess. Well, before we get going, as usual, I always want to say thank you to all of our service members and our first responders. We really appreciate what you guys do for us out there.
Especially this time of year. Thanks you.
Amen to that.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. You know, there is no denying that retirement planning is a sophisticated and it can be a complicated process, too. In fact, getting to and surviving retirement can be like navigating your way through a minefield, as there are several retirement traps that you must avoid. So today, we're going to be discussing these traps in detail and arm you with the information that you need in order to survive.
Yeah, JB, there's no doubt that retirement planning, it's a sophisticated, complicated, and it's an ongoing process, and you just simply have to keep up to date and educated on the ever-changing tax rules, rule changes, plan provisions, constant market fluctuations, and be able to make adjustments and changes to your plan on a regular basis as you need them. You know, with the new year right around the corner, there's going to be a number of updates and changes that will need to be made to your retirement plan for the future.
And, you know, retirement planning, there's so many complexities, so many moving parts involved. Just about everyone that we talk to has made some kind of mistakes at some point in their retirement planning. There's no question about it. But the small mistakes, that's not going to destroy your retirement plan. But those major traps that we're going to talk about, those could do some damage.
Very true, Bryce. We're going to discuss some of those major retirement traps and how to avoid them and give you some information that'll help navigate around those traps. So, JB, what's the first one?
All right, guys. Well, the first retirement trap to avoid is the absence of a retirement plan.
Well, as you can imagine, it's a no-brainer. But as obvious as it is, many people do not have a proper retirement plan in place, or they developed one way too late in life. And without a properly designed and constantly updated plan, a successful retirement is pretty close to impossible. So having a retirement plan is so important these days because retirement planning, it's a lot different than it used to be. You know, retirement planning today is much more difficult than it used to be for several reasons, but mainly because of the amount of options available today. Technology advances and increasing complexities of retirement planning in general.
Yeah, you know, additionally, people have a tough time seeing far into the future when it comes to their finances and their careers. That's why the retirement plan is so extremely beneficial. Your good plan is going to show you how those certain financial decisions you make, whether it's today or tomorrow or 5 years from now, how that's going to affect your retirement 25 or 35 years down the road. Imagine your car's GPS, right? It plots a course for you, it alerts you when action is needed, and it recalculates should you miss a direction or something. That's exactly what a good retirement plan does. And of course, the earlier you start saving, the better retirement plan you have the potential for having.
So, guys, you know, the markets have been really volatile this year. And if you're retired or if you're 5 years away from retirement, you really need a second opinion. And I'd like you to get that second opinion from us, because what we're going to do is we're obviously going to do a Social Security optimization for you. We're going to run a risk analysis of your portfolio, and we're even going to run a risk analysis on you just to see how much risk you can tolerate before you squeal. And we're going to design a written retirement plan. We're going to structure your portfolio so that it has circuit breakers in it. No more losing 50% like you did in 2008. Our portfolios are designed to go down no more than 5 to 10% in a 2008 type environment. We're going to do a fee analysis of your portfolio. Most of you don't even have any idea how much you're really paying in fees. On average, it's about 3.5%. And that's I can almost guarantee you that if you're with a major Wall Street brokerage firm. One couple I'm working with in Charlotte right now, they have fees of over 6.5% on a $378,000 portfolio. Now, we can bring that down to paying less than 2%. And let me tell you what that means. That's about a $17,000 a year savings. So in a 15-year retirement, that's over $390,000 extra dollars you'll have for your retirement. So we do all this work for you for free. Obviously, we're trying to earn your business, but there's no obligation on your part. So if you want a second opinion, call us now at 336-391-3409.
All right, gentlemen, the next retirement trap we want to talk about is to avoid not staying abreast of changes.
Yeah, because unfortunately, a successful, rewarding retirement does not automatically happen with just a retirement plan.
That's right.
A retirement plan will not work if it's not constantly monitored and updated based on changes that occur each and every year. Let me ask you, when's the last time you updated or made adjustments to your retirement plan? I bet many people it's been quite a while. For some reason, especially with some of the types of savings and retirement plans available today, with a buy and hold approach and funds that are target date funds, many people have a mindset of just setting it and leaving it.
And Doug, you know, I got my start in this business with T. Rowe Price many years ago, and they're one of the premier buy and hold firms out there. And that buy and hold or setting it and leaving it approach is just one of the worst things that you can do, actually. Again, just having a retirement plan will not give you a successful retirement. You have to make adjustments to the plan, just as you were saying, on a routine basis. And it's got to be updated and it's got to be accurate at all times, no matter what changes.
And specifically, Doug, why is that?
Well, JB, there's two main reasons. First, retirement and overall financial planning today is a lot different than it used to be. You know, the financial and the economic world has seen a lot of changes over the last several years, and today's financial world is more complex than ever. Technology continues to advance. Markets are global. Financial products continue to evolve. And to keep up, financial tools, their design, strategies, concepts have changed as well. So they've done so over the last several years. And it's amazing. I've been in this business 30 years, and the changes I've seen in 30 years it's mind-boggling, really. So if you don't constantly update your retirement, then your retirement plan becomes out of date very quickly.
You know, and on top of that, changes occur every year. Every year we have tax law changes, interest rate changes, changes in the economy and financial markets, what we're seeing right now. And I suppose most importantly, you have changes in your specific goals, the objectives that our clients have, their desires. So again, if you're not making adjustments to your retirement plan based on those changes each and every year, then I don't know what kind of retirement that plan is, but it's outdated, if anything.
Yeah, you know, education is so vitally important. In fact, it's key. You simply have to be up to date on all the latest tools available to keep your retirement plan up to date and accurate at all times. But it doesn't just stop with just being aware either. You have to understand how the latest tools, the designs, the strategies, and all these concepts work. So the trap of not staying abreast on changes can be huge, and one can be very detrimental to your retirement plan, especially now with new temporary tax code in place for the next few years. This may very well be a golden opportunity to improve your overall retirement plan if you know how to take advantage of it for the next few years. So make sure you have an advisor who meets with you on a regular basis to make the necessary updates, the revisions, and the changes to your plan so as to keep it accurate and in line with your retirement goals at all times.
All right, guys, the next retirement trap to avoid, and I must say some of my loved ones are dealing with this right now, is failing to plan for health-related expenses.
Yeah, is there anything out there more expensive than healthcare right now?
It's crazy.
Is there anything out there that goes up more in cost each year, more than healthcare and healthcare insurance premiums? I mean, I have a daughter in college right now. I know college is going up, but healthcare is in a league of its own. I mean, these costs are simply outrageous, and I'm not an expert, but it doesn't seem that there's any signs of improvement on the horizon. So, in fact, actually, healthcare-related expenses, and Doug will attest to this, that's the number one cause of financial ruin in retirement. So if we're talking about traps out there, this is one of those big ones that you have to avoid.
Well, how does one avoid this? I mean, you cannot predict if and when you're going to need health care or even to what extent.
Well, JB, you're absolutely right. And that's why you must have a plan in place for health care. It's going to be expensive. That's no question about that. But you have to be able to make sure a healthcare related expense is not going to wipe out your retirement plan. You need to make sure you have the right type of healthcare related insurance and plans to cover you the best way based on your specific situation. I know there's a ton of plans available, and it's very hard to know which is the way to go for yourself. But that is what experts are for. Now, I am by no means an expert in healthcare, but we do have specialists in that area that we work with who take care of our clients' healthcare and related questions and concerns.
You know, everyone out there has different healthcare needs. We're not all exactly alike. But the key is to find someone who is an expert in the area and who can answer your questions and find you the most cost-effective plan based on whatever your specific healthcare needs are, the healthcare needs of your family are.
You know, it doesn't stop with just traditional healthcare. You also have to plan for another health-related expense that's not covered by traditional health insurance plans, and that's a long-term care illness. The Department of Health and Human Services estimated that people age 65, over nearly 70%, are going to need some form of long-term care in the future. So there's a very, very good chance that you'll need some form of this care in your lifetime. And long-term care can be very expensive.
Yeah, this is worth paying attention to here. There are actually plans today that you can fund with a lump sum of money that will provide long-term care benefits if you do end up needing care, but also will pay out benefits to your beneficiaries in a tax-free lump sum if you ended up never using the long-term care benefits in the first place. It's a win-win.
I'll tell you what, gentlemen, we're up against a break. Want to remind everybody you are listening to the Wealth Guardians radio show, heard locally right here on 94.5 WPTI. We appreciate you being with us today. Remember, you can reach Doug at 336-391-3409 and at thewealthguardians.com. We're up against a quick break, but stay tuned. When we come back, we will continue this topic and discuss two very big traps to avoid. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I know it's that I fell in love with you, and if all my dreams come true, I'll be...
Welcome back to the Wealth Guardians radio show, where we tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Let's continue discussing some traps to avoid in retirement. And the next one up is ignoring tax issues in retirement.
Taxes, taxes, taxes. That's right, JB. Unfortunately, taxes don't go away.
That's right.
When you retire. In fact, you're going to face some taxes in retirement that you didn't have before you retired, such as estate taxes, inheritance taxes, taxes on requirement minimum distributions, taxes on Social Security, on and on. Of course, you'll have income taxes, capital gain taxes, possibly state taxes, and of course, you have to factor in the reality that sometimes tax issues don't pan out the way you thought they might. For example, most people have the expectancy of being in a lower tax bracket when they retire, which is why the majority of people save money in tax-deductible retirement plans. The idea is to take the tax deduction on the amount you're contributing to your IRA or your 401k or 403b or SEP while you're working and making good money in that higher tax bracket. Then, once you do retire and start withdrawing from those funds, you're hopefully and expected to be in a lower tax bracket when you begin paying taxes on those retirement account funds. This is exactly the training we had when I first started in this business 30 years ago. I mean, that's a plan and an idea, right? I mean, you would not be doing it this way if you thought that you'd be in the same or higher tax bracket at retirement time, would you? Of course not. Otherwise, you'd be contributing after-tax money into tax-free accounts like a Roth or a Roth 401k. So all of that money will grow tax-free during your working years and be tax-free in retirement. Unfortunately, though, as I said before, sometimes the thinking here can be wrong.
And why is that, Doug?
Well, as we've discussed before on previous shows, there's a lot of concerns and fear out there that there may be higher tax rates in the future. With tax rates now at historical lows with this new tax bill in place for the next couple of years, there is all probability tax rates will be much higher in the future. Why? Well, Because of our nation's continuing spending and borrowing and the current level of our national debt and probable higher interest rates in the future. Most experts agree there's just simply no way around higher taxes. Even if taxes are not increased substantially in the future, it is safe to assume that tax rates are probably not going to be any lower than they are now today. And if tax rates are higher in the future, that means that all the money in your retirement plan will be taxed at a higher tax rate than you expected when you put that money into the plan. Thus, it may not work out exactly as you had originally thought about being in a lower tax bracket when you retire.
Yeah, unfortunately, so many people out there don't give much thought to tax issues in tax planning when they're doing retirement planning. And this is going to cause you a lot of problems, folks, at a lot of times. If you are not careful, you can find yourself paying much more out in taxes and at higher rates in retirement than you expected or needed to. But with the proper planning, you can help avoid the scenario and minimize or even eliminate some of those taxes in retirement. So please don't ignore the huge impact that taxes can have on a retirement plan, as it can be another one of those giant traps that JB likes to keep bringing up here.
Absolutely. All right, guys, our next retirement trap is having the wrong investment approach.
Well, there you go again, JB. Another trap. Thank you. As you can imagine, this is another big one. Having the wrong investment approach in today's volatile and economic arena can absolutely wreak havoc on a retirement plan, especially if you're not prepared for another major market correction. And, you know, if it's not coming, it might already be here. You've got some debate now going on with the economists. We might be looking at that correction right in the eye right now. So if you're not nearing retirement, or if you are nearing retirement or in a retirement plan and you're not thinking about how to protect your portfolio, I'm afraid for you. I really am.
You know, folks, again, I want to offer you the opportunity to get that second opinion by calling us at 336-391-3409. We do this work for you for free, and there's no obligation on your part. You really ought to find out exactly where you stand right now. You know, folks, a lot of people lost a lot of money the last few times the market had a major correction. And this has been happening much more often in recent history because of increased volatility in the markets. The most recent correction was back in 08 and 09 when the S&P lost over half its value in 1 year. And this is shortly after it happened before, way back in 2001 to 3. So obviously major corrections and drawdowns in the markets can occur and will continue to occur.
Yeah, and the key is to have that proper risk management system in place to protect you against the market drawdowns so you can have your money positioned properly for growth and protection at all times. The problem is that many people just don't have that proper system in place and are still trying to cover from the 2008 market collapse.
You know, simply put, your retirement plan, your nest egg, it cannot afford to take these big hits when you're in your pre-retirement and retirement years. During this time of your life, you have to get away from the traditional asset allocation approach that you've probably used your entire life. That is the standard plan that holds a set percentage of stocks or equities, bonds, and cash to try and attempt to diversify you. This is a traditional asset allocation approach, buy and hold approach, or using the target date funds. This approach does not make adjustments to your holdings based on change and market conditions. It didn't work in 2001, it didn't work in 2008, and it's not going to work in the next downturn.
Well said, Doug. Remember, every time, folks, that you lose money in the market, you have to make a significantly higher percentage than you lost to get back to even. Let's do the math here. If your portfolio uses 50% of its value, you have to earn 100% of that value to get back to even. You have to earn double just to get back to where you were. So if you want to ruin your retirement plan, simply take more losses than gains in your portfolio, and you'll ruin it very successfully.
Now, you know, I'm sure most of you do not want to do this. So you want to make sure you don't fall into the trap of employing the wrong investment approach. Make sure you're receiving proper investment advice and have the right type of risk management system employed to grow and protect your money in today's volatile and ever-changing market environment. Remember this. Markets are at all-time highs, or almost. We've given up a whole year's worth of gains this past month. But It's not a question if another big correction is coming. It's just a question of when. And with the right type of investment program in place, you don't have to worry about when that correction hits. These are must-haves for any portfolio in retirement, whether you're managing your own assets or you've hired an advisor.
All right, guys, this brings us to our last retirement trap to avoid for today, and it is the support trap.
You know, young adults struggle to find their footing in this economy and often turning to their parents for help. Many parents in their pre-retirement and retirement years find themselves trapped between their own financial security and that of their children. Many parents can't see how paying down their children's debt or making mortgage payments or school payments for them could be hurting their own financial future.
Yeah, you know, Doug, you're a parent, I'm a parent, JB's a parent. We all understand the desire to put your children first. We're all parents here. But you have to have limits, and you can't overdo it and risk your own retirement in the process. Remember, no one is going to give you a loan for your retirement, so don't fall into this trap. You are not the family bank. You can help, but help them out smartly and with limits.
And you can do this by budgeting any support that you want to provide. If you build it into your retirement budget, then the support you offer is limited and calculated. This way will help prevent any financial support you give to your children from hurting your own retirement.
And you can also do this by providing some non-financial support as well. There's several ways to help kids and grandkids without having to spend a fortune.
And finally, consider some incentive plan for the kids who need and request help. If they work or get a job to help pay for expenses or college, then consider some type of matching amount or whatever they make. In other words, if they don't make anything, they don't get anything.
Right, yeah. Bottom line is you have to limit the amount of help you offer your adult children and grandchildren. Please be disciplined, folks. You do not want to fall into that support trap.
So again, folks, I'd like to offer you the opportunity to come speak to us and get that second opinion. You really owe it to yourself and your family and your future. You know, we're going to do a lot of work for you. We do that work for free, and there's no obligation on your part. Let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a Social Security optimization, which we include in every plan. We're going to run a risk analysis on your portfolio. We'll even do a risk analysis on you. I want you to understand how much downside risk you are tolerant to. We're going to design a written retirement plan. And most importantly for you retirees or about to be retirees, we're going to structure your portfolio to have downside volatility control, circuit breakers, if you will. We're going to build a portfolio for you that in a 2008 type environment, you're only going to go down 5 to 10%. And we're also going to do a fee analysis for you. And a fee analysis is something that opens up most people's eyes. They have no idea how much they're paying in fees every single year. Most people think they're only paying 1% to that advisor. No, there's a lot of fees in those mutual funds, hidden fees that you don't know about, fees that are told to you in the prospectus, but you never read the prospectus in the first place. You don't know anything about those fees. We're going to show you those fees. So again, call us at 336-391-3409. Well, we're out of time today, and I hope the information was helpful. Remember, getting to and surviving retirement can be like navigating your way through a minefield. In order to survive, you have to be equipped with the right tools and education. Make sure you obtain the proper help and work with a qualified, competent, educated, and experienced retirement specialist to make sure you're aware of and understand all of your options. We'll see you folks next week.
Take care, everybody.
The information provided is for educational purposes only and not intended as investment advice for any individual or entity. All information contained herein is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. The views presented today are those of Wealth Guardians and do not necessarily represent the views of the Alpha Star Capital Management. The opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and do not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income refer only to fixed insurance products offered by Wealth Guardians. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Please consult your financial professional before executing any financial strategy. Investment advisory services offered through AlphaStar Capital Management, a registered investment advisor. AlphaStar and Wealth Guardians are independent entities.